Ahoy hoy, people of the internet. Today we're going to look into claims that YouTube is encouraging the abuse of orphans. These claims, they're not small, but you got to look at YouTube as an entity. Is it evil enough to encourage the abuse of orphans? Yes. Yes, they are. Well, and I'm saying this as a person. I've had four of my channels taken off of YouTube, and I'm starting to think it's because I never adopted children and beat them and starved them, battered them, pepper sprayed them, and locked adopted kids into a wardrobe to force them to perform in my videos. I'm one of those people. I usually do most of my own content. You know, I do some voiceover work. Some people it's hard to believe. It's my voice and some of the rewinds, and it is my voice. Don't think I'm like abusing orphans, because that's not my whole shtick. But yeah, it was a woman. While YouTube was suppressing my views uh, on my channels, it was a woman who had like millions of views that she was getting with these abused orphans, kind of like the circus animals. You got the image of the bear being taught how to ride a tricycle, being whipped to shit, starved. I mean, it's worse because these are young human children.
There are three simple changes I tell all of
my... Nah, no ads. Okay, already, it's another video. I skipped past the ads.
YouTube stars tortured and abused to get them to perform for the camera. Those are the shocking claims being made against their adoptive mom.
A woman who adopted 7 children and used them to make social media videos is now under arrest.
The 7 kids are
7.
The popular YouTube channel called...
You gotta start questioning, like, what you need 7 kids for, lady? What are you doing? You trying to recreate the old lady who lived in the shoe? Like let's talk to the other 6 kids to see how they feel about this whole situation.
Fantastic Adventures. The channel has over 250 million views.
250 million views. I mean, NatesVlogs, as like my largest subscribership, I think I got up to 50 million views on there. They got 250 million. I'm clearly not doing something right. I need to start abusing more children. Anybody got any kids they don't really like too much, I'll take them under my wing. I'll starve them a little bit, get like a cattle prod. I mean, I'll get creative. We'll figure it out. Maybe YouTube, they'll start to love me again. I mean, the people who control YouTube, the real sick people who get to hang out on the new Jeffrey, the pedophile island. Hi, friend, how goes it? And the answer is yes, they love abusing. Yes, they do. They abuse people of all ages. It's gross. Well, yeah, you get to really get a sense of what YouTube's values are when you see the kind of content they prop up. Like this child abuse, totally honky-dory.
Go get some cookies.
In this episode, one boy does a Mission Impossible style stunt to grab cookies off the kitchen counter. But police say behind the scenes, the youngsters were being subjected to a nightmare of abuse. Michelle Hackney, who adopted all 7 kids, allegedly sprayed them with...
Doesn't she look like a supervillain? Like, she looks like the mom from the Goonies. Like, she would just raise a young chunk. Just disgusting.
Pepper spray, beat them with a belt or clothes hanger, and locked them in a closet for days at a time. She also allegedly withheld food and water if they didn't recall their lines or perform as directed for the YouTube channel.
And you forget those lines, you starve it out. That's how you... I'm getting back into theater, getting ready for a play. I still don't know what my position is going to be. I'd like to be the writer. I turned in like a script because it's like, so far it's like 6 shorts. So I turned in the scene from something I want to do. It's like, well, long story. I want to be the writer. But I mean, I might have to act. I might be I don't know what position I'm going to hold. But I never thought of helping people remember their lines by starving them out. You know, they might be forgetting their lines because they're missing protein. So you make sure they starve, and that'll resolve the issue, right? Because you're not yourself when you're hungry. I remember it was a commercial where they would starve children, and then the children would all of a sudden like have all cylinders firing on the right section. So I don't know. I'm no scientist. I'm just saying, starving someone out, it just sounds like it would help their cognitive abilities greatly.
Police paperwork, it says they were malnourished. Looks like they weren't sleeping.
The kids told police they were thirsty and hungry, according to documents filed by prosecutors.
They gave one of the little boys a bottle of water, and in a matter of 20 minutes, he drank 3 bottles of water, looking like he hasn't had water in days.
When a police officer gave one child...
You shouldn't laugh at malnourished children. I'm just laughing at the fact that YouTube let this channel get 250 million views while like doing everything in their power to squash my content. That just lets me know that I must be doing something right. If I'm on the polar opposite end of like child abusing 7 kids, like adopting 7 orphans just to abuse them, starve them out, and it just like it just makes me wonder, because you know I'm like doing a live stream on YouTube as well, and it's it's my tech channel, the last one I had, and I'm noticing it's like nobody there. Now I'm like kind of curious, did I even make this one public, or did I make it I don't know, but it's like nobody on that particular site right now. But it's just this is the last bastion of getting any word out to a YouTube audience. And I'm really just come on here to let you guys know. Got a new employee evaluation on NatesVlogs.net, rumble.com/NatesVlogs, odyssey.com/@NatesVlogs. But I digress. But it's just like this is the kind of content that they really love. It's just like hokey, feel good child abuse, orphan abuse. they lost their parents, so let's have some obese evil woman like profit off of their misfortune and pepper spray them. Pepper spraying children, that's chemical attacks. But I guess YouTube is for chemical and biological weapons being used. That's why all of the major voices, the authoritative sources, they're pushing for arming the Ukraine, the Nazis in the Ukraine, so we can continue this kind of insane policy
Bag of chicken.
or insane behavior as government policy.
She was afraid to eat it because she did not want her mother to smell chips on her breath, the documents say. Police in Maricopa, Arizona showed up at the house after being contacted by the mother's 19-year-old biological daughter, Megan, who was apparently upset at seeing her siblings mistreated. Megan, who is now being hailed a hero, is seen here in the Mission Impossible skit.
Are you trying to steal my cookies?
And the 19-year-old daughter went to police and said, listen, this is what's happening inside of this house.
Michelle Hackney has been charged with child abuse and unlawful imprisonment. Her adult sons were also arrested, charged with failing to report the abuse of a minor.
Wait. I mean, kudos to the daughter for, finally speaking up. I mean, you let the abuse go by for a long time. I had like a babysitter who used to abuse me, all the kids who she babysat. Locked us in the garage and let her daughter, who was clearly inept at being the babysitter, watch us. But, no one, it was no come to Jesus moment for the daughter. It was just kind of just kind of continued until we got another neighbor who was, abusive. Not saying I didn't have proclivity to be a shithead at times, but I got hit with a lot of fly swatters unprovoked. But yeah, it's just I think it's just kind of insane that the sons would be locked up for not reporting it. I mean, yes, they were adults. You know, maybe they just normalize that kind of erratic, abusive behavior as just everyone experiences mom's pepper spray. Everyone gets starved out. You don't take out the garbage. I don't know. It's like the pedagogy of the oppressed. Like they they came from her, so they normalized all of her behavior. So it's just kind of fucked up that they get locked up. But then again, they're old. I mean it's clearly fucked up. If you don't have the capacity or warmth in your heart to take in these kids and like show them a better life than like abuse, so the ghouls at YouTube can give you hundreds of millions of views and millions of dollars. um, yeah, if you don't have the stomach for that, you definitely should speak out. But I don't know. It's just kind of crazy that they get targeted. With the mom should just give her all the time that you would give to them. Just triple her sentence for the boys who shouldn't be locked up. Man, I've been following you since NatesVlogs, bro. That's a lot. That is definitely one of my probably my second or third channel. I forget what I started first. Cause the first, I forget what I started second. Cause the first one was my picks, and then I think I went. I think pretty much started them at the same time, like my picks and Nate or gadget picks and Nate's vlogs. Like the same year, but I forget which one, like the exact chronological order. But there is a chance that this channel has been around longer. But I fuck with you for sticking with me that long. Because if you've been following me since Nate's vlogs, that's close. It could be well over 10 years. But it's a minimum of 8 years because that channel went down in 2014. So bare minimum, you're closing in on 10 years if you're not there already. And I appreciate that. Much love. I understand the abuse. I was in the foster care system in Solano County. It's funny. I was in Solano County. It sounds extremely like Solano. We just don't have the O after the L. That's crazy. Third, at least. Nate's Vlogs, Nate Flicks, Nate Coin, I believe. 2013. 9 years. Almost a decade. Whew. I appreciate that. As we're rolling deep, is I believe the terminology the kids would use, the millennials. Oh boy. Well, let's just see the conclusion.
The case is reminding many of the Turpins who just pled guilty to abusing their 13 children at their home in Southern California. Now new allegations.
13. I said this is 7. That's like almost half of the 13 that were being abused and propped up by YouTube. YouTube has like a real issue with like just taking down people who are just trying to use the platform for making a positive change while propping up orphan abusing maniacs who pepper spray children routinely, starve them, deny them water and basic necessities for life while getting rich off of these very sad cases. It's just like YouTube, what are you doing? And I'm saying this, and it's like certain words, I know they've been like algorithmically shutting channels down for, but it's certain things I can't even mention because YouTube will just put the kibosh on this channel. I already got a strike on this channel for the first live stream I did on it. Yeah, so it's just like they'll algorithmically target me for saying words and just trying to, show Senate hearings of doctors and military whistleblowers talking about stuff. but then they could have like multiple teams of orphans, 13, 7 being abused routinely, and they do nothing but give those people millions of views, hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Of another house of horrors involving the terrible abuse of little ones.
Michelle Hackney has denied using extreme disciplinary actions against the children. She says the only form of punishment she used was making the kids stand in the corner, along with spanking and grounding them.
Along with spanking and grounding them with pepper spray. Grounding chemical agents in their eyes. I'm still not understanding why there's war in Ukraine. Well, this is a hot topic. It's one of those things YouTube will shut you down for. It's a war in the Ukraine because your tax dollars, if you're in America or any Western country, is going to provoking a war in the Ukraine, and it's been like that for closing in on a decade at least. Because there was a coup back in 2014. We overthrew the democratically elected leadership, put in puppets who were loyal to the West. And then there's been like ongoing killing of people in the Donbass region, anybody of ethnic Russian descent. And then now they want to act like this whole thing started like 40 plus days ago when Putin reacted to the West's aggression. And since all of that has been revealed, since we had war, there's been Russia has taken over at least 20 biological weapons plants that the U.S. was funding in the Ukraine, and it was like closing in on 30. It's about 26, 27 biological weapons plants that our government admits to, like it's Victoria Nuland admitting that the Russians had taken control of a biological weapons plant. She's like the main one behind the coup. Well, not the main one. She's a major player. She was caught on tape picking the next government back in 2014. And it's just like, yeah, they want to put this all on Putin. It's just kind of like around the buildup for war in Iraq. It was just like we just turned Saddam Hussein into the worst villain since Hitler. In some cases, worse than Hitler. You're seeing the same done with Putin. And it's just like, sure, Saddam did a lot of fucked up shit, but at his worst, he was funded by the CIA. He was funded by our government, right? He became a problem when he stopped sticking to the script, right? Like, I'm not saying, these people, I'm not a fan of really any government. I'm a fan of, but I believe we have more in common with the people of Russia, with the people of Ukraine, the common people who aren't like running shit, than we do with our government or they do with their government. But this is like really evil governments of the U.S., government of the Ukraine, provoking evil in another government, Russia, who's really just trying to, have some sense of autonomy. It's a movie or a documentary that was made in 2016 called Ukraine on Fire. It was taken off of YouTube this year once we started war with Ukraine because YouTube is trying to silence any dissenting voices, even if they were like several years ago pointing out how fucked up what our government is doing. And yeah, sad. It's such a shame this world has to react in such a way. I understand we can't all be cool. Yes, absolutely, puppets. Yeah, sad state of affairs. But I mean, I have confidence people are waking up. I mean, that's why YouTube, they can't allow a whisper of truth to get out there. They silence people at the drop of a dime because they know it's just like, it just takes like just a teeny bit of truth to just ripple through the population. So it's just like they're afraid because they know people are waking up. I'm excited. I'm frustrated that my finances have to be, severely cut, and it's just like it's a lot of precarity as into where I'm going to be building. Right now, I'm more so investing in, just freedom. So it's like I started my own website, so I know I won't be cutting myself. I won't be censoring myself. I started paying fucking Rumble so I could live stream on there because their whole thing is guaranteeing free speech. I'm trying to build that up. But yeah, it's just the sites that we will go to for like mass audiences. Those have been severely compromised. So you can't you can't threaten violence on Facebook unless you're calling for war with Russia or threatening like ethnically Russian people. You got to think of how fucked up that is, because they have loopholes in their policy where you can't use violent talk unless you're talking about Russian people or Russian politicians. Even though you're far more likely, if you live in the United States, you're far more likely to be fucked over by a domestic asshole, a domestic oligarch. Joe Biden, he had this whole crackdown on Russian oligarchs when we fund the domestic American oligarchs with our tax dollars. And it would be a lot easier to shut them down by just saying, hey, you get no more welfare. But, it's just, they got to fund Pedophile Island somehow, some way. Yes, we do. Here's videos of Russian military getting aid by Ukrainians. Believe we are understanding these people aren't killing us. It's the 30 that are in charge that are killing us. The 30? What 30 people? What's the channel? The channel, you talking about rumble.com/NatesVlogs? Odyssey.com/@NatesVlogs. Those are the channels. Odyssey has more of my back catalog that I had on my NatesVlogs channel. A good amount of it was, Rumble has some stuff that I never posted on NatesVlogs because I started like just diverting attention over there. Because, I could see the writing on the wall. Like YouTube was not slowing down on the censorship, and I wasn't slowing down on the preaching what I thought y'all needed to hear. But yeah, it was I definitely felt the control mechanisms. Well, it's just kind of like one of the bigger evils that was just really understated in YouTube was the introduction of the network, right? So it's like I started off just making shit from my house. I had like a few videos go viral. I got invited to LA, and and then I realized I became one of the first AdSense members getting paid through YouTube's partnership program, and it was glorious. I had with that particular setup, I saw my account skyrocket. I made more money than ever. With any other job I've had. And and then like around 2012, YouTube started investing in these partnership programs or these networks. So it was like, even though my numbers were going up, the money was going down because YouTube was giving it into these networks because they were like a way of bringing you into the propaganda. So it's like, I got reached out to by Full Screen, and then they were like, yeah, it's gonna be some changes at YouTube. You want to maintain your way of living. Here, we're gonna have sponsorships for you. We love your content. You just got to change these 50 things about you that make you who you are. you know, and I used to butt heads with them a lot, you know, but you start to normalize um, some of the stuff they say, just like, you know, and it feels like they got your best interest at heart. Like, you know, sometimes they'll introduce you to someone who will be quoting your stuff. Like my first people to handle my account, like you know, they actually watched my shit. But then, like as they got bought up by AT&T, it was like they were swapping me around from person to person. Well, and also this was after I lost NatesVlogs. Because when I first started, I was like one of their largest channels, and then after I lost NatesVlogs, they were like swapping me around from person to person. And they were just like had these like changes that I had to make, and then like they would just bring me into meetings and just like, you know, like they have like a group of people just like trying to nitpick me into like changing something that I just did not want to change, right? Because like yeah, it was the the reaction from my viewers was like really what was motivating me to continue, right? So it's like they were trying to change shit that would have pissed you guys off, and it would have pissed me off too because I knew how important it was. You know, I know the only thing that differentiate me is me doing the stuff that when other people does, me not doing the stuff that when other people does, it pisses me off, right? So it's like I create my content like I'm not gonna be like that. And I mean, mostly I have like something to say, but I have something to say after watching other people get it wrong all the time. But yeah, but now pretty much everybody who you see like, you know, cream of the crop making the money is like they got the networks in their ear, and it's usually young kids, young impressionable kids, like the 7 kids who are being abused by these families. Well, actually, 20 kids altogether because it was 2 different families who were abusing them routinely. But yeah, you know, like you got someone so young, so impressionable. Of course, they just want like everything. You know, they want to be like the people on their screens, and they buy that shit hook, line, and sinker. So they lie to you constantly. So it's like, you know, I was speaking about it a few different live streams. How TikTokers, the top TikTokers, young kids, brought under the tutelage of the White House to given talking points to get us into a World War III with Russia. So it's just like, yeah, it's just scary times. This just shows your passion. You stuck through after full screen screwed you over. Yet you're still making content. I believe you had a Patreon. If so, do you still have one, bro? Yeah, I do. I'm NatesVlogs over there. Yeah, it's Patreon. It's Patron Day. Well, Patron Day is the 5th. But yes, the day I usually give something out to the Patreon subscribers. Yeah, well, I'm gonna do digital content because it's harder to get people's addresses. Because I was trying to give out jewelry one particular month, and no one provided their address, so it just couldn't do it. I miss NatesVlogs, man. I do too. You and me both, sister. I'd love to send you some when I get back to Vacaville. Oh, you're from the 707. And send you some to get you some bud or something, bro. Well, that'll be great. You know, I haven't actually smoked bud in like over a month at this point. I for was it New Year's? My New Year's kind of resolution. I really don't do resolutions, but I was just like, I'm not gonna smoke any weed from Washington anymore. Really, any weed I can't smell before buying. Cause I got fucked over a few too many times. And plus, I buy in bulk. So I used to buy like an ounce, and then I get it home, and it's just like, it looks good and fluffy and delicious, and it's garbage. It smells like garbage. It smokes like garbage. It's like harsh on the throat. Like, I'm accustomed to being in Cali. I have my little med card. I used to be able to smell it, get a real good whiff of it before I bought it. I went to Oregon. They don't open up the actual weed to let you smell it, but they pop the top, and it's like a little hole you can smell through. Same with Vegas. Vegas, the hole is even smaller, but at least you can kind of smell it. And then but Vegas, they pull the old bait and switch. Cause last weed I bought was from Vegas, cause it fit my description. It was weed. I don't smoke weed. I can't smell before buying it. But yeah, I smelled some weed, and I'm like, it was hard to find stuff that smelled good there. But I found something I smelled that was good. And then after I bought it, they gave me a different can that had nothing to do with the shit I just smelled. Then when I opened up the shit they gave me, it smelled totally different. It was like nothingness, and it was just, I was so disappointed. But yeah, that's just a long way to get around to me saying it's not like I've given up weed, but I've given up weed I can't smell before I buy. Well, yeah, and but yeah, I mean, any help would be appreciated though. And then I see what I believe to be my auntie on there, and it's good to see you if that is you. I always enjoyed your evaluation. I hope all is well with you. Well, it's funny you say that, because I just got done shooting my next employee evaluation, and I'm pretty much done editing another video that's basically an employee evaluation. Similar pacing, and well, I'm gonna add some more clips. But it's not technically employee evaluation, but you might enjoy the style. You might enjoy it if you like the employee evaluations. But yeah, and then this is just like a preview of something else coming up. Well, if you were privy to earlier content, I was just dissecting. After losing my fourth channel, I started dissecting the stuff that is allowable on major social media websites like YouTube. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out, should I do like a new series with that, or just, it's really employee evaluations. I'm just gonna be firing a major social media site at the end of every one. But it's personal, bitches. But yeah. And also to the point, I don't know if James is the only person interested in the donations. I appreciate that. It's also probably best to go the way of probably Cash App or PayPal. No, not PayPal. They take money out. But yeah, it's Cash App. Got the card and all that shit. And it would be timely because my birthday is tomorrow. And I'm like still in between. I'm waiting for the financial aid, and I'm like trying to figure this. Hold on, maybe I gotta tighten this part up. 1 second. That helped. But yeah. Maybe I should have led with that. But then I guess as you get older and older, birthday means less and less. I missed the episodes of Thug Fabulous. Oh, those are on Rumble.com or Odyssey.com. I'm gonna be going through an upload period. I'm gonna upload some old school shit on Rumble when I get off, because I got some stuff on my hard drive. It's just, yeah, just not trying to cause fatigue of like old content for like viewers, you know, who've been around for a minute. But then, you know, my subscribership on Rumble is low enough for me to just not give a fuck at this point. Also, maybe I should just do a mass upload. I don't know. And plus, I just did the paying for it, and I still haven't figured out an app where I can see the comments on my live streams. But I love promoting it nonetheless. Yeah. Yeah, we got more Thug Fabulousness to come. Thug Fabulous. Anyways, internet. Really do got a mosey, got a potential breakfast or a birthday dinner tonight. So I'm just gonna check in, make sure everything is copacetic. That's it. Did you need anything else? I want to get to importing my new employee evaluation so I can edit that, you know. Definitely want to put some new content out, and it's not going to be on here. Well, I was thinking, you know, samples. I might do like a sample. I did like a 3-minute video of my last rewind. I posted it on like TikTok, the places that shut me down. But I definitely won't be posting like the full content, you know. Yeah, it's just more so like, well, one of the videos I got is basically, spoiler alert, it just kind of ends with me just saying, fuck the major social media websites, uninstall their apps and follow me on rumble.com/NatesVlogs, odyssey.com/@Natesvlogs, and, you know, NatesVlogs.net, of course. But yeah, that's like the move. I'm live streaming on my Rumble, but really these live streams are like, so people could be like, hey, where's the employee evaluation? Where's the rewind? And I'll be like, oh, go to these other sites. I don't do it on YouTube anymore. The move is to get away from this shit. If I got like any birthday wish in the world, anything, it will really be for everyone in the world to uninstall YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of these sites, and just follow me on those sites, you know, on, you know, the stuff that's guaranteed to respect free speech. Because I'm not going to stop, you know, being me. I would just like to find the site that embraces me, and then like have my audience follow me there, because it's just like vexating to like have all this time and energy invested into building something up just so the tyrants who steal billions of dollars in tax money, like at Google, they get subsidized with our tax dollars, say they're a private company, shut me down, and do the government's bidding, you know, and the corporation's bidding. I would like to see them just go the way of Friendster. Not even MySpace. MySpace was a good idea. YouTube was a good idea until Google bought it. Then it became progressively worse. So Google didn't even have the idea. They just had the government funding that allowed them to buy another idea, which was good, and destroy it. And I would like to see them, like, their investment just go to shit. The next major social media site, I don't think Twitter, MSNBC, CNN, they shouldn't be a factor in their content. If you see any major social media site and it has like on the front page CNN, MSNBC, that's when you know they've been compromised. The deep state has infiltrated them. But you know, we're getting deep into the weeds on this one. But anyways, internet, I appreciate you guys showing up. I got some text to return, figure out what I'm doing for my birthday dinner. And I appreciate you guys for showing up, and I love you. And don't forget to be good to each other. Peace.